She ironed on my lung till I Markiplier.
They will get their execution. I will get my freedom.
In a post-apocalyptic future after the Quiet Rapture event, a convict explores a blood ocean on a desolate moon using a submarine called the Ironed Lung. That's right, we have another YouTuber horror movie, this time from one of my favorite YouTubers, Markiplier, who is very famous for a lot of things. If you grew up around the 2014s, 2015s around that time, you probably mostly know him for his Five Nights at Freddy's playthroughs.
Oh, the sounds, I don't like them. Ah, fuck! No! Oh, yeah! Fucking fuck! I tried to push it! Oh my god!
So believe me when I say that I was surprised when I found out that Mark was gonna be making his own feature-length film. Not only that, but a feature-length film based on an indie horror game. Yes, this is in fact based on an indie horror game of the same name, Iron Lung, created by David Szymanski, which, as I said, has the same exact plot as the movie. You're a convict that gets sent into this moon with a blood ocean in a tiny-ass, rusty-ass submarine. A lot of crazy shit happens, a big old fish eats you up, and that's pretty much the game. Or at least those are the basics of the game. I know that there's a lot more lore involved with it, but I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know much about this game. Like, I have seen Mark's playthrough of the game. Don't get me wrong, it's an interesting world. I do think, like, the lore of the game itself is interesting. The game is just the thing that I'm like, this is just not for me. But nonetheless, I was still very excited to watch the movie because not only is Markiplier one of my favorite YouTubers and I like his content, but also I was just interesting to see how this guy, who is not only directing the movie, he also stars in the movie, he also wrote the movie alongside with the game's creator, but he also edited the movie. He self is distributing the movie. It only started with a couple of theaters, but it blew up so much from people begging their local theaters to show the movie. So now it's like this big wide release without even having like a Hollywood distributor, which is amazing to me. But I also wanted to come here and be as honest as possible watching this movie. I'm gonna review this movie like I review every other movie I ever review in this channel. I'm not gonna pull back just because I like Markiplier. I'm not gonna be soft on this movie just because, oh, I like his videos, so let me give him a pass. No, I'm gonna treat this movie like I treat every other movie when I review it. So I'm so glad to say that this movie is actually pretty good, at least to me personally. It is definitely a movie that is not gonna be for everybody. It's a very slow burn movie, which I have no issue with that. There's a lot of slow burn movies that I really like. You gotta remember that this is a 2-hour long movie. It all takes place in one single location, one very small ass location, and you're pretty much just seeing one person the entire time you're watching this movie, that being Markiplier, obviously. Now, I do want to get all my negatives out of the way before I go into my praises, because believe it or not, I do have more good things to say about this movie than bad. First of all, I do believe like the first 10-20 minutes of this movie are a little bit too slow, and I was definitely a little bit worried about Mark's performance. Not that he was doing a bad job at the beginning, but at first it was very hard for me to really believe that he was playing a different character. Like, at first, it was hard for me to separate Mark from his character, Simon, so I was worried that I was gonna feel like that the entire movie. Thankfully, after those 20-ish minutes, the movie immediately picks up, and after that, I start believing that I am watching Simon. I'm not watching Markiplier, the YouTuber, in a movie. No, I am actually watching this character pretty much go fucking insane in this submarine. Now, I don't know much Iron Lung lore, so it was definitely interesting going into this movie, not knowing a lot of the game's lore, but in my opinion, I think that made the experience a lot better. Like, I was very engaged on this whole mystery of this goddamn submarine and this goddamn blood ocean. I was like, what does any of this crazy shit mean? And I love it when a movie makes me really question a lot of things that happen in the movie. Like, even if there's no clear answer, even if the movie really asks you to really come up with your own interpretation, I find that a lot of fun, if you ask me. Now, there are some movies where it can be annoying, where it's like, okay, you're just giving me nothing to work with. But this movie gives you enough stuff to kind of speculate about, to really think about, that I was like, oh, man, this is the kind of shit that I love. And Mark actually gives a really good performance. I do believe Mark has good acting chops. I think the only problem that he has is that he does need a little bit of time to get adjusted to his character. Like I said, in those first 10 to 20 minutes of the movie, you're just seeing Markiplier on the big screen, and it's a little bit distracting, but after that, you actually start seeing his character. You actually start believing this character. You actually start feeling sympathetic towards this character, even though he's a convict, and we don't really even know why he's here. You get a couple of details about him, but it gives you enough to just slightly sympathize with his character. Because again, you're watching this character get fucking cabin fever inside this little ass submarine that you can't see anything. Like, there's no window. I mean, the submarine has a window, but they shut that shit immediately. It's like he can't see outside of the submarine, and even if he could, it's a blood ocean. What the fuck are you gonna see in a blood ocean? And the cinematography is absolutely beautiful. I mean, obviously it's not a movie that is high budget or that is a big blockbuster Hollywood movie. So the movie finds very creative ways to make it feel like a high budget Hollywood movie by doing some amazing camera work, getting some great shots and some great angles of this fucking dingy ass submarine. And all of this is accompanied by an amazing score by Andrew Holschultz. Holschultz? I know I fucked that name up. But he's amazing. I love the score of this movie. And right now, I'm probably gonna be listening to the score for a good while because it is that fucking good. And again, it helps with the atmosphere of the movie. It helps set the mood of this very dark and kind of depressing and also kind of hopeless movie. Oh my god, that third act is just fucking insane. I mean, it is legitimately the craziest part of the movie. By the end, I was like, what the fuck? But in a good way. And I was really thinking, what does this movie remind me of? And when I got out of the theater, I was like, oh shit, this reminds me a lot of Mad God and Event Horizon. These three movies are completely different in their own right, but they all kind of follow a same mood structure, and they all kind of follow a same kind of dark, futuristic style to them. It's very eldritch, cosmic horror in that way that I really like. But yeah, if you're a Markiplier fan or you're a fan of the Iron Lung game itself, I think you're gonna enjoy this movie a lot. But if you're not a fan of Markiplier or a fan of the game, I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. Like, I feel like you at least can appreciate how much work went into this movie. And you can definitely see that this is not just a quick cash grab. You can see the passion project behind it. You can actually see that Mark was truly passionate about this game, that he wanted to do justice by this game with this movie. I liked it. Like, I really, really liked it. And look, not to compare it to another horror YouTuber movie that came out pretty recently. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but watching Iron Lung and comparing it right next to Shelby Oaks, you can definitely see how Iron Lung feels like it has a lot more of a clear vision to it. You can actually see Mark's fingerprints on Iron Lung. You can definitely see Mark's vision and what he wanted to do with that movie, how he wanted it to look, and you can definitely tell, like, oh, this has Mark's touch. Where Shelby Oaks, on the other hand, it just kind of feels like Bender done that. It's like a lot in one movie. And again, I'm not trying to put Chris Stuckman down. He seems like a decent guy. Man, that movie just doesn't have a vision of its own. So my final rating for Markiplier's Iron Lung is going to be an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie, and I hope a lot of you go watch this movie and support it, because you can definitely tell that Mark put his heart and soul into this goddamn thing, and I can't wait to see more. If he even does more work in film, you know, I would definitely love to see him do a lot more movies, because he definitely has the creative touch to make great movies and be a great actor. So, hey Mark, if you're watching this, you're probably not watching this, but hey, good job, and I hope to see more.
There aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks. Eden doesn't understand that. You don't understand that.
I just want to live.
But what do you think of Iron Lung? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you just kind of in the middle? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about it. And like always, good day, good night, and stay safe.